Chapter 2. The next day, Tahra woke up thinking it was all a dream and she was back in her bed in her own home. Then she opened her eyes and realized it was completely real, not a dream. A sigh floated from her and she wished it had been a dream. More than anything, she wanted to be home with her family. It upset her knowing that her parents and Kate were probably terrified, not knowing how she disappeared in only a few seconds. Another sigh escaped her, but she did not dwell on the situation for a moment longer. She picked up 2 rocks off of the edge of the grass and sat down to begin chipping away at the one rock with the other to sharpen it. Once the one rock was as sharp as Tahra wanted it, she tested it by carving an X into the bark of a tree. It was sharp enough. She was going to use the rock to carve an X in the trees to mark her path. As she searched for a way home, perhaps a portal. As long as she could remember, she had always believed in magic and other worlds. But this still somehow was different. She figured if this place was a fairy tale and had magic, surely the way home had to be through a portal. Most often portals were in hidden places, so she was set to seek it out within the jungle. Marking her path would be the best method so she would not get herself more lost and confused. In all of her imagination, Tahra always tried to imagine what a different world would look like and be like. This place, though, was nothing like she had ever pictured. Yet here it was, a different world. She had no clue where she was, nor what was on the rest of the island. All she knew was she had to find her way back to her homeland. Tahra was a little afraid to enter the jungle on an island, afraid of what the natives would say about a strange girl on their island. Would they be friendly or rude or kill her? What if they took her prisoner and never let her return home? Or would they be kind and actually willing to help her get home? Tahra also pondered about the wild animals lurking out there. Tahra remembered a movie she had watched when she was younger about a boat that crashed on a strange island. On that particular isle, there were many things to be feared. She only hoped this island was nothing like that one, especially since she was alone, meaning no one else was there to protect her. Hopefully all the skills she had learned from school and her parents would be enough for her to survive on the island of the Sea of Paper, as she decided to start calling it. She started towards the dense woods nervous, but eager to go on a new adventure. There upon the branch of the first tree on the right of the path, a little girl about Kate's age appeared. The girl had dark hair and rose lips that were delicate in a smile. Behind her bellowed large white wings. She piqued Tahra's interest, especially because she looked a lot like Beth. "Who are you?" questioned Tahra, but the girl did not reply. She grinned in an assuring way and then faded away. Tahra did not know about the family's guardian angel, Ava, or she might have recognized the little girl in the tree. Instead, she thought she was losing her mind and hallucinating. She shook her head and took the first step into the jungle. In Glowing Springs, in the center of town, was the police station. Inside at the desk, located immediately after the doors on the right, sat a lady with chocolate hair. She was the assistant chief, but also the secretary. To her left, in a spare chair, sat her best friend and chief, Marietta. Her head rested upon her hand, and she appeared extremely worn out. Concerned, of course, for her friend, Christina thought, "Are you any better today?" Marietta answered, "Not really. My head is pounding and I ache all over." Yesterday, on one of the cases, Marietta had been injured in an attempt to stop the criminal. She had worse things happen to her, but oddly, this one stole all of her strength. "You should really return home and spend the day resting. I can handle the task here, I promise." "Never. I do not take breaks. The world needs me, and I cannot abandon you guys. I will be fine in whatever task today throws at us." "You are too stubborn." Just then, the phone at the front desk rang, and Christina picked it up. "Assistant Chief Officer Christina speaking. What is your problem?" She listened for a moment and replied, "At exactly what time? And you say there was no trace of her. You said you have no neighbors, right? If she is not likely to leave and had gone supposedly by foot, and you took the horses searching, surely you would have found her." "It's so odd the way you describe it." "Well, I would send out our troops to investigate, but they are currently tied up with other shenanigans around town. But we'll keep our eyes out for any hints." "Not at this time, unfortunately. I wish you all the best, and again, I'm sorry." She hung up the phone, and immediately another call came in. She went to reach for it, but Marietta placed her hand on top of Christina's to stop her. And then she stated, "What was that call about?" "Never mind it, I can take care of it." "Was it about a child missing? If so, you know I'm extremely skilled at finding people. Please, you must tell me the details, and I will get on top of it at once." "You need to rest, or else you will harm yourself more." I'm fine. Christina, tell me everything. I got this. It'll be fine. Now don't you worry. But Christina silenced her and picked up the incoming call. At the Strong house, Beth sat at the kitchen table with tears rolling down her cheek. Nick paced anxiously about and ranted, I can't believe the assistant chief brushed it off as if it was nothing. We should call them back and keep bothering them until they do something about Tahra. Beth stammered, they vowed to search for signs. Yeah, like they'll actually follow through with that. They will forget about her in a few seconds. Tahra will never be found if they don't investigate and help us. Honey, you need to relax. They were probably in the middle of a case and will likely get right on finding Tahra afterwards. You don't know that. And you don't know that they will not. You keep telling me to be strong and not give up, so you cannot be negative. Please, it's making everything worse. You're right. I'm sorry, dear. He glanced at his watch and informed, you need to get Kate up before she misses the bus and doesn't get a chance to eat breakfast. Beth nodded and went up the stairs. She came in Kate's room and sighed, time to get up and ready for school. Kate opened her eyes slowly and staggered out of the mattress as compared to when she normally opens them fast and springs out of bed. I guess Tahra is not back yet, mumbled Kate, since Tahra always woke her up, not her mother. Beth sighed again, not wanting to admit the answer either. Why had Tahra left like she did? Where did she go? And when will she return? Many other questions haunted both of their minds as well. Poor Kate hardly slept and was lucky to have even gotten 4 hours of sleep. As for Beth and Nick, they didn't fall asleep for a single minute. A little after Kate was dressed and finished eating breakfast, the school bus pulled up. The bus driver, Kelly, was surprised to see only Kate, but assumed Tahra was not feeling well and stayed home. Kelly noticed Kate looked sad, but she figured it was because she was only tired, when really it was both. As Kate stepped on, Kelly greeted cheerfully as always, Good morning. Morning, Kate practically grumbled. She didn't even smile and went straight to her seat. She plopped down and rested her head against the uncomfortable glass window. Soon after, the bus pulled away. Nick had to leave to go to work. Nick always loved acting, even as a child. Many days in his childhood he would act out how he felt when he could not explain his feelings, or if he lost his voice. In his youth, Nick also loved participating in school plays and small skits, any opportunity he had. All of those things led up to him wanting to become an actor. Nick loves acting, however he refuses to play as any character that has to deal with anything sad or violent. He always likes to try to take on acting projects close to home. It helps he often works with the same director, who lives in Glowing Springs and has a studio there. All the time in his normal everyday life, he always does his best to make others laugh, or at least turn their frown upside down. In fact, the movie Nick is currently starring in, he is a character that cheers everyone else up by doing silly little things. However, due to the fact that Nick declines any opportunity that is further than 30 minutes from his home, his acting career has never been given a proper chance to take flight. Right now, his focus is being home for his beloved children. Once they are grown up, Nick plans to start taking on bigger acting roles. Nick really did not want to go to work at all that day. His oldest daughter was lost somewhere in the world, and he was going to go to work like it was nothing? What if she gets hurt while I'm working, Nick's mind wondered. What if she gets really far away? Then how will we ever find her? I will call my director and tell him I'm sick and I can't work today. No, he'll never believe me. I was perfectly fine yesterday, and I would never lie. Maybe if I tell him Tahra is missing, he would be so kind to let me go look for her and give me the day off. But I remember him saying when one of the major characters was out for 2 days, it was really hard on the studio and they could lose a lot of money. I would hate to have that burden on my shoulders. But Tahra is far more important to me than anything else. I have to find Tahra. I have to bring her home. My mind is telling me I must go to work, though. Which I suppose I must. I won't eat lunch. Instead, I will go look for Tahra in that time. That will work. I can do both, Nick thought to himself. Besides that, he was the one who had talked Beth into going to work earlier, so it would only be fair if he did the same. Beth worked at the school, so Nick hoped maybe being there she would be able to think of where Tahra would have went, or someone would tell her something was troubling Tahra lately. Either way, he hoped Beth would be able to find something more out by being at the school. When they had gotten up, they called the school to let them know in case they would see Tahra or know any additional information. Meanwhile, at the sea of paper, Tahra walked an hour on the first path. Luckily for her, this was so far very different from the island in the movie. Not a sound was heard, not even a bird. The only sound came from her footsteps on the leaves and sticks as they snapped and crunched beneath her. She came to believe there were no animals whatsoever, which was very strange, she thought. Unless the natives were hiding amongst the trees waiting to make a movement, Tahra figured she was the only one on the island. Even though she loved nature, without any animals it wasn't as beautiful. Animals always tied off the scenery and made life far more enjoyable, so Tahra really missed having them around. Except she didn't miss having the bugs around trying to eat her all the time. By this time she was getting really hungry, as it had been a while since she last ate, which was lunch the previous day. Tahra knew what types of plants were safe to eat since she does live on the mountains. Unfortunately, many of the plants here she had never seen before, definitely not any types of plants that grow in the mountains. She decided it would be better if she didn't eat any of them because most were unfamiliar. It wasn't much longer until she came across an apple tree. Better yet, it was not one, it was at least 10. Tahra was glad to see something safe she could eat, and apples would give her energy too. Plus, they were one of her favorite fruits. On the other side of the path were tall, thick blades of grass. Tahra pulled out her rock from her sweater pocket. She held the grass with her right hand. With her left close to the bottom of the blade of grass, she cut it using the rock as a blade. Tahra continued cutting the grass until she had a small pile of grass. Beth had taught her when she was little how to make a basket with the grass. Often Tahra would make small baskets for different people to keep up practice, so that way she would always remember how to make a basket. Now here she was on a strange island, thankful she knew how to make baskets from only thick grass. She sat down on a dirt path with a pile of grass beside her. She then began weaving a basket while humming a small tune as she worked. When Tahra finished, she picked apples and put them in the basket she had weaved. She pulled another off of the tree and bit into the juicy apple. It tasted so good, and she finished it within a minute. She tossed the apple core off to the side of the path. Then Tahra continued walking down the path. After walking a few more feet, she heard a sound like running water. Tahra wondered how that was possible when the sea was paper. Not much further down the path, she came across a wide stream approximately 8 feet across. It glistened as brightly as a great blue sapphire with gentle ripples stirring the surface. Even though the sea was made of paper, the stream was water. Just to be sure, she placed her hand in and pulled it out with water running off. Now Tahra was even more curious about this place. Her mind filled with thoughts. The ocean is paper, but the stream is water. How can that be possible? Besides, I never even heard of water being paper, except when someone draws a picture. The sea of paper is even stranger than the island from the movie, and I thought that place was strange and confusing. Meanwhile, on set, the director of the movie, Jason, asked Nick, "Why don't you seem as cheerful today? You normally are bursting with energy and happiness. Not to mention, your acting is off and you are not in character." Nick had been trying to act out his scenes, but he was weighed down by something and kept letting go of long, deep sighs. On top of that, he kept glancing at the clock, only to find it had been 2 minutes since he last spared a glance. Jason was quick to pick up on Nick's actions and had to know what was troubling him. "My daughter, Tahra, is missing," Nick mumbled with sadness in his voice as he tried not to cry and show how broken he truly was. "Well, then, you go look for her. The movie can wait, but not her. I don't even know why you bothered coming in today." "I would have understood," replied Jason generously. Nick was surprised Jason would let him go just like that without making it a half-day, but he was very grateful. The rest of the actors and actresses went home for the day as well, for the reason Nick was the lead actor, and there was really nothing they could do without him. They were more of the chorus or background characters that added to the scenes with Nick in it. Besides, Jason felt it only fair to give them the day off too if he was giving it to Nick. Nick was already in town, so he decided to look for Tahra there. Perhaps she had gotten lost, although he doubted she had. He figured it would be easier to find her by walking, that way he could stop to ask people if they had seen his beloved daughter. Nick walked around the town, his eyes clouded with worry and fear. "Oh, my dearest Tahra, wherever did you go? Why did you disappear? Is this all my fault? Did I say or do something to make you run away? Or is it just that I was a bad father to you? What could I have done differently so that you would have stayed safe at home with us? Oh, please, Tahra, come home to me. How long were you gone? A few hours or 1,000 years? I miss you terribly. Oh, please come home. Tahra, where are you? Why would you ever leave us? If I could undo whatever I did wrong, I would. Please forgive me and come home, my darling Tahra." Nick thought to himself, wishing she could hear his thoughts. He began to cry, wishing she was home more than anything, and whatever he did wrong, he could be done over again. A passerby saw cheerful Nick crying and couldn't help but wonder what was wrong. From the brightest, sunniest day of all comes the most cheerful and happiest person. But why is it today you seem bluer than the pure blue sea? Asked the passerby. My dear friend, there is no sunshine in my life any more. My only sunshine has gone missing. I cannot find my oldest daughter, Tahra. It is unlike her to run away, so I must have done something to make her leave. Where she went, I have no clue. Whether it has only been a few hours or over 1,000,000 years, I cannot tell. All I want is for her to return home and be safe in my arms once more. You poor thing, that's awful to have a missing child. At least you know she is still alive. Do not worry, Tahra will turn up, just believe. What does she look like so I can help keep an eye out for her? Nick pulled out her picture of her, which was on the flyer they made, and showed the later. Then he handed her several flyers to pass around. I will do my best to keep an eye out, and I will let you know immediately if I see her or if I hear someone has seen her. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much that means to me, replied Nick, a little more cheerful to hear someone else cared enough to help. I may not have a child of my own, but I know that a child is the sun, the moon, and the stars to their parents. A child is the most important thing in their life, and without them the parents feel empty and alone. Very true. I feel as though I will never see my shining angel again, and that I may never be happy again. Well, then I guess you'll have to find the sunshine in the dark and think positive. If you think negatively, you may never find her, but have clear, wonderful thoughts and she will come back to you. As I always say, enjoy the lake, meaning be positive, even in the worst times. I better get going, but do not forget, you must always have hope. Nick nodded, now crying less thanks to the comforting words. Then he continued walking through the town, searching desperately for his sunshine. Many others saw his dull mood, but ignored him and didn't want to bother. Once in a while, someone would stop to ask what the matter was. He'd tell them, and they'd say they would keep a lookout. Meanwhile, Beth was on her lunch break, sitting in her classroom. She took a sip of her tea as she opened her laptop. Every day, Beth followed the same pattern when it came to the lunch break. She'd always check her emails first, in case her book editor, publisher Jennifer, sent her an email, which she often did. Once Beth's email page loaded, Beth saw she had 3 unread, including one from Jennifer. Figuring Jennifer's was far more important than the one from her high school friend, Beth opened her email first. Jennifer's email read, Dear Beth, I do not ask too much of you too often, but I have a huge task for you, bigger than most. I need you to come up to New York City and meet me in the publishing building at exactly 3 o'clock in the afternoon on April 30th. I hope nothing too important is going on because this is really important and there will probably never be this chance again. I need you to be here this time no matter what. Your publisher, Jennifer. Beth did not like one bit the thought of going, not without Tahra being safe and sound, but what choice did she have? Jennifer made it very clear this was urgent and her whole writing career could depend on this one meeting. She clicked on reply and thought about telling Jennifer she could not make it until her precious daughter was home safe. But she knew Jennifer would probably get upset with Beth and never publish for her again. She would much prefer her daughter over writing, but had to at least see if what Jennifer needed was so important. Beth replied, Dear Jennifer, this is really a terrible time. I have something far more important to me that must be taken care of. I am so sorry, but it will be best if I do not come to New York at this time. Whatever you need to tell me, you can call me or email me. Again, I am so sorry I cannot do as you ask. It is only now is not a good time. I could come in maybe 2 weeks. Would that work for you? Thank you, Beth. Beth took a deep breath and then took a bite out of her apple. She sat there sadly gazing out her window, wondering when her dear Tahra would come home. When Beth looked back at her laptop, there was a new email from Jennifer. It read, Beth, I told you it's now or never and you need to come. Please find a way to come. Jennifer. Beth knew she should never have tried to get out of it. Of course she should have known if Jennifer had wanted her to come all the way to New York City and drive all that way. It had to be really important. Although she knew it could never be more important than her daughter. Unfortunately, she also knew Jennifer was not going to let her get out of this one. Beth only wished it would be worth her time, and maybe in her absence Nick would be able to bring Tahra home, or maybe Tahra would even be home before she had to leave for the trip. Beth replied back to Jennifer, Okay, and tears slid down her gentle cheek. Back at the sea of paper, Tahra's feet were sore from walking so much on the prickly terrain. The sharp stones and twigs threatened to lash out and tear apart her delicate skin of her feet, and she had to be careful where she would step, for she did not have any shoes on. Tahra found a small clearing and sat down to rest. There she flexed and pointed her toes to stretch them out. While there, she also rubbed the pebbles out of her skin and brushed the dirt onto the grass. Thoughts whirled around her mind as she sat there. My parents must be worried out of their minds wondering where I went, but I don't even know where I am. How will I ever get home to my family? They will never find me here, and I will be trapped here forever. I have to find a portal or a secret passageway back home. But what exactly would that look like? If only I knew how I had gotten here, I could probably find my way back. I miss home so much, and my mother's smile, my father's laughter, and my sister's company. I will get back to them. I just don't know how I will do that. Come on, Tahra, you need to have hope, otherwise you will never get back home. I will find my way, and I will see my beloved family again. She wasn't sure if she would find a way home today, though. She most certainly did not want to sleep on the leaves again, so she decided she would take paths she had not yet taken and search for sticks to build a shelter on the beach. At that same moment, Kate came off with the bus. Normally, her mom did not get back from work until a bit later, but today her car was already parked. Kate figured Beth had come home earlier so she could get out searching for her daughter. Kate went up to the stable at once, and sure enough, Scarlet was not in there. She saddled up her horse, Lily, and prepared to hurry off. Lily's older sister, Crystal, looked at Kate, wondering where Tahra was. "Sorry, Crystal, Tahra is missing," Kate explained. Once Lily was all saddled up, Crystal started kicking her gate. "I know, you want to come out and ride, but you can't. Tahra is not here," she reminded the horse. The white mare snorted and stamped her hoof. Then she proceeded to kick her door. "Would you like to tag along and follow Lily and I to aid in searching?" Crystal threw her head in the air and whinnied, which Kate took as a yes, so she undid the latch. She dug her hooves in the dirt, ready to go. So they took off up the mountain. Kate was going to go to the highest peak to call for Tahra, believing that Tahra would be able to hear her from anywhere in the entire world. Before leaving, she left a note on the table so her parents would know exactly where she went. If she did not leave the note, Kate feared her parents would worry she too had gone missing. Riding up along the trails, the young girl found her mind drifting off. "I remember when I was little, I made a promise to Tahra, declaring that I would be the best little sister to have ever lived. But I failed her. I broke my promise. Instead of being the best sister ever, I became the worst sister ever. Whatever I did to make her upset and disappear, I wish I could take it back and have my beloved sister beside me now. How will I ever make it up to her? What if I cannot find her and my parents will be disappointed in me? Will they hate me if they know I probably had something to do with Tahra disappearing? I would give anything to have her be home safe aside of me. My dear sister Tahra, where did you go?" Kate couldn't hold back her tears any longer. Lily and Crystal both could sense she was upset and worried about Tahra as well. Crystal nudged Kate gently to dissipate the clouds. "You're right, Crystal. I need to stay strong and believe. We will find Tahra and bring her home safely," proclaimed Kate, a little overconfident. At the sea of paper, Tahra sat up in her stick shelter on the leaves. She was working on weaving thick vines together to make a bed. She already had the frame built from large sticks, which seemed sturdy. To keep the structure in spot, she had hand-dug holes for the posts and patted the sand around it in tight. The vines woven together would work as a mattress and, fingers crossed, be more comfortable than sleeping on sand and leaves. A little later, Tahra watched the sunset over the sea of paper from her newly woven bed. It wasn't the same as her bed back home, but it was better than before, and it was very strong, so Tahra liked it and knew it would do its part until she would find her way home. "Well, that's one day of searching done. Tomorrow is another," wailed Tahra gloomily. She grabbed a nearby piece of bark and pulled out her rock. In the bark, she carved yesterday's date and the word "start." Below it, she made one tally mark. That way she could keep track of time and know what day it was. Tahra decided to stop complaining so much and start enjoying the wonders of the island. She decided to make it a game, and she would be like Robin Hood venturing through the forest surviving. Tahra smiled to herself and lay down on her new bed. It was more comfy than the leaves, so she knew she would sleep better tonight. She closed her eyes and slipped off to sleep, curious what the adventure awaiting for Robin Hood would be the next day. At the same time, Kate was at the highest peak calling for Tahra. She called 1 minute, then listened the next. The only sound that could be heard was the echo of her voice off the mountains and the birds settling down in their nests. "It's getting dark. We should go back," Kate spoke softly to Crystal and Lily. They both nodded in agreement, but hated to turn in without Tahra. Kate returned to the stables and put the horses away for the night. Kate ran in the house hoping Tahra would be there. "Mom, Dad, any signs of Tahra yet?" asked Kate eagerly, although she feared the answer. No, responded Beth with a sigh of disappointment. Nick, Kate, Jennifer requested I come to New York for a meeting. I tried to explain to her I had something more important to do here, but she insisted it has to be this exact date at this exact time or never. I really am sorry, but she has given me no choice. I have to go. And while I'm gone, please bring Tahra home, Beth informed with a heavy heart, and her husband placed a hand on her shoulder. Beth lied up in bed, unable to sleep again. She pictured Tara's sweet voice singing her beautiful melodies. My precious daughter, Tahra, where are you? Why did you leave us? Oh, please come home. I miss you more than ever. In my heart there is nothing but an empty hole and the wish for you. What have I done to make you go away from my sight? Maybe I am a bad mother. A good mother would have found her daughter by now, or her daughter would never have left. I pray you find you safe tomorrow in my arms as if you had never left. Come home, my Tahra. I need you to make me smile. Without you, nothing will make me grin. My poor Tahra, you have no idea how sorry I am for whatever I did. All I want is for you to return home safe to me. Beth couldn't help but to cry. Nick reached out his hand and grabbed Beth to give her comfort. Have hope, he whispered, and kissed her cheek.